How you doing, folks? I want to talk a little bit today on focusing on your target, mental focus. It's probably one of the most important uh, aspects of your form or your whole shop process that gets overlooked a lot of times. I know I worked on my focusing on the spot just consistently all last year, and I'm working on it all this year. Uh, it's one part of your form that gets overlooked quite a bit, and it's probably why we spray on the target instead of being real consistent around it, or if not in it. Uh, you can hear it referred, I guess. You know, it'll where I'm trying to get to. My thoughts kind of run away from me, but if you can work on one thing, I guess, and I would definitely work on mental focus. The aspects to your shot process form. Everybody can get the physical part down, but when it comes to the mental part, archery is mostly mental. I had a conversation with a guy just like a couple days ago, and he was talking about how archery is mostly mental. And this guy has shot a bow, traditional bow, for about 25 years. So, I sat there and listened to him, and he said it's mostly mental. If you can get the mental part of it down, the rest of it's pretty much going to be easy, and it's going to give you a lot more confidence, which it'll lead to more consistent shooting. A lot of this stuff, like some of the past videos done, like how to get pinpoint accuracy. What it is increasing your focus down to something smaller. It's shrinking your target down, but if you try to do that and you don't hit it right off the bat, and especially if you're coming from, say, a 4-inch target or a 5-inch target, trying to shrink it down to an inch or 1-inch target to a 2-inch target, I mean, that focus is a lot different. It's getting more honed in, so it takes your brain a while to actually register an inch target, because you can take two different targets in a large target at the same distance to a small target. That smaller target is going to look further away, so it kind of throws your mind off, and it takes it a minute for it to register. It's at the same yardage, just tinier, and the way I worked on it was I just focused on a place that I wanted to hit. I mean, whether it was a 3D deer target, and you ain't got to tell nobody that you hit it or missed it, but within yourself. So I always try to hone in on something smaller than what I'm trying to shoot. Right now I've been working on a 3-inch target all the way out to 30 yards. So 3-inch target all the way out to 30, you're pretty much kill about anything, especially if you're a hunter. You pretty much harvest about anything in North America with that type of grouping. Some people, well, that's not good. It's good enough for kill zones on deer, turkey, elk, bear, stuff like that. So I'm not looking at it as a target aspect. I'm looking at it as a bow hunting aspect. And and there's a lot of ways you can do to increase your focus, but it just takes time to really get it down to where you're just solid on it. And a lot of times I've got a target in the house that's like real busy, a bunch of little dots everywhere, and I'll just try to hone in on one dot and just stare at it and just work at it that way. Or I'll try to put it in a shadow on the target, try to bridge the gap on that shadow line. There's a number of ways to work on it, but if you're just used to shooting a bigger target and you try to shrink it down, it's going to be tougher for a little bit until your brain starts registering it. Shrinking down your target does help, but really getting focused, not taking your eyes off the target. And that's where wanting to see the arrow flight. I love watching. I'll shoot longer distance just to watch the arrow fly and see how my arrow flight is. And that's the only reason I shoot, longer distances. Most of my main practice is 20 yards and in. So I keep it in a hunting aspect, but I try to get out to 30, and just it helps me consistently with that with my focus to incorporate that focus in with my form and see if everything lines up farther I go out. Because slight little movements, especially with your eyes, looking away from the target is going to be cause you to miss, and further you are, the more of a margin it is as it goes along. But you just got to remember your eyes are a gateway. Once you get locked, it's already calculated everything that you need to know already subconsciously. The yardage, I don't even take a rangefinder when I'm out here shooting or hunting, so it's just basically I'm looking at a sight picture and where I want to hit, and as soon as you take your eyes, just roams a little bit, your mind just automatically picks up where your eyes went to last, and you're trying to get focused back on it, and you shoot, and it's like, man, I miss. It's because your eyes are wandering, and it takes a lot of practice, a lot of time to get that where you're just honed in on one thing. Some people, I mean, I've heard like Byron Ferguson, he said everything he sees is a target, so he looks for the smallest point. Everything has the same center no matter what size it is, and that's one of his sayings, and it's true. You know, it's got the same center size of a pinhead or whatever smallest size you can see. And just by working on that mental focus, it'll make you 10 times better of a shot than per se you're trying to focus on the physical. If you get to the mental, that's where you're going to go to the next level or start being more consistent inside your yardages that you're normally shooting, instead of having shotgun spray, which I have that quite a bit of the time. Some of the things that can throw your mental focus off is new arrow setups, new bow, trying to get acclimated to a different shooting style. But, you know, just remaining focused on the spot, there's a lot, you know, to be able to stay maintained, it takes time for that arrow setup, new bow to get used to, new and I'm losing my train of thought quick, shooting style. You know, all that stuff takes time for it to get reincorporated back. So if you start throwing in a lot of changes, you know, you start getting frustrated, you know, and your focus is not going to be on what you're trying to accomplish. It's going to be more on what's happening on the other parts, instead of what you need to be on is on your target. And I hope this helps. And a mental focus is a really, I don't know, I would say a tougher subject, because it's harder to master, because it doesn't take a lot to throw us off, you know, or catch something in our eye with movement and all that. But if you work on it and really get that down, part of archery down pat or close to pat, and I don't think everybody ever really conquers it, but keep the problems down to a minimum where you focus a lot more, you'll find yourself being a lot more consistent. And it will take a little bit of time, but if you want to be a better shot, I would work on concentrating on focusing on your target and focusing on the smallest part that you can focus on. So I hope this helps. I hope y'all have a great day, and God bless.